So imagine going through years of infertility before finally welcoming a child by IVF. But then I want you to imagine that there was a mix-up and the child you've raised isn't biologically yours. Well, that happened to Donna and Vanner Johnson. Their family took a home DNA test just for fun. Well, while they were doing that, they found out that their 13-year-old son wasn't 100% theirs. So today, Donna and Vanner join us live to share their story. Welcome to the show, both of you, and thank you for having the courage to speak about this so openly. I can only imagine so many of our viewers are going to be able to sympathize, empathize, and relate to a degree.
Thank you for having us.
It's our honor. So I want you guys to walk us through the DNA test that you took back in 2019, which was only a couple of years ago, so I can only imagine just how raw this is. What specifically did it reveal?
So I happened to get my results first, and when I opened it up, I had Tim's on mine because we had to have them on an adult account, and then Donna had our older boy on hers, and mine came back first and showed that I couldn't see any connection with me, and that really surprised me. And so I called Donna. We didn't tell our boys, and we waited for her results to come in, and they did.
And my results showed that I had two sons, but my sons were half brothers through me.
Wow.
So we knew there had to be a sperm mix-up.
Oh my goodness. All right, so Vanner, how did the results make you feel in that moment when you first looked at it?
When I first looked at it, I tried to just think, well, maybe it's a mistake. But when I saw that connection I saw my son that's connected to me and to Donna, and then saw that he had a brother that was a half brother, and then saw on my son Tim's account that said father unknown, and it was right at that moment it hit, and it hit harder than I expected, actually.
That's understandable. Like, Donna, you weren't sure about telling Tim the truth, and I think we can all understand all of the things that could have gone into that decision. What changed your mind?
Well, we did some counseling, and we realized you can't hide the truth. You can't keep secrets in a family. And it was already eating us up so much, we needed to tell our son what had happened.
So, Vanner, tell me about the day that you actually told him, and how did you do it?
Yeah, so it was over a year after the test, and I wanted to do it as his dad. We've had a close relationship since he was born, and I wanted Donna to be okay with that. She was. So I took him for a ride to get ice cream, and we were in the car, and I'm driving and just said, hey, do you want to go get ice cream? And I look over and I just start talking to him, and I don't remember the conversation completely, but I remember that it was just very nonchalant, and I said to him basically, so you know how you're IVF? And he acknowledged. I said, well, turns out that there was something that happened in the lab when we went in to have the doctors help us have you, and something happened, and we're not sure what it was, but it turns out I'm not your biological father. And he looks up, and then he looks at me and says, really? And then it was a really sweet conversation. He told me, well, you're still my dad. And I said, yeah, I'll always be your dad. And that was so sweet.
Oh my goodness. Wow. You guys definitely are the example. Your son Tim told you that he wanted to find his biological dad. So how did you track down the truth?
We got really good at sleuthing because we'd looked for him before, but it took us a while to find him. But when we did find him, we did it by searching for an obituary that we found that happened to be Devin's father from about a year prior. And I noticed that they had 2 boys and 3 girls all married. And so we just started looking, social media. We started looking them up, found Devin and Kelly, and just realized there might be a connection there. And so I called him up.
Unbelievable. There's more to this story. So when we come back, Tim's biological dad, Devin, and his wife, Kelly, will join all of us for a conversation. So stay with us. We're back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to DBL. So we just told you about the IVF mix-up that happened to the Johnson family. Well, after 13 years of raising their son, Tim, they found out he had a different biological dad. Vanner and Donna Johnson join us live. Also joining the conversation is Devin and Kelly McNeil. Devin is Tim's biological dad. Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you from Erica and I for joining us and just being so transparent. Devin, when Vanner called you with this information about Tim, what were you thinking?
Well, at first that was a phone call that I didn't want to believe was anything but fake. So part of me thought, well, this isn't real. But there was a little part of me that thought something happened, and I guess we need to figure it out.
Right. And Kelly, what were your and Devin's emotions after finding out?
Well, we were shocked, and then we were disappointed in the clinic that something like this could happen. And we were scared because we did IVF 3 different times in 3 different clinics. And we thought, what if we get more of these phone calls?
Yikes.
So a lot of emotions.
Wow.
Your concerns are very understandable. Well, both of your families had an opportunity to meet just last year, face-to-face in 2021. So, Devin, what questions did Tim have for you?
So he really wanted to know, your typical young teenage boy questions, finding out something that he just found out. What was I like as a kid? How tall was I? Did I have allergies? Did I have braces? What sports did I like? And so simple things. So it was a really good conversation just to get to know each other.
Yeah. Well, Devin, what kind of relationship are you hoping to have with Tim moving forward?
That's up to him. I mean, we've developed a really great relationship with the Johnsons this past 9 months, and where we go from here is really up to Tim, because he needs to process this, what's ever the most healthy for him, and I'm open to whatever is going to be right for both families.
Right. And, listen, I know that you guys are definitely still in it. You're still processing this. There's definitely trauma attached. But I just want to say, from an outsider looking in, the love that you all have for Tim, what an example. Like, for a child to have this many people love them, I think if there's any silver lining, that could be one of them. And I say that respectfully. Now, Vanner, what do you want people to know about fertility clinics? Is this a cautionary tale?
Yes, it is. And in fact, we would have anybody that suspected or even did any fertility clinics to go out and get tested, but be ready for the results. This is surprising in today's industry that we've been doing this as a standard practice for 30 years, and this is still happening. Even within the last couple of years. Ours was a case that was 12 years ago, but it's still happening.
One thing that really sticks out is the idea of Tim being a young man, a young kid, and the way that he's been navigating these conversations. Is anyone surprised? I mean, are you guys surprised at how he's handled all of this?
It's beyond his years, for sure. But I can't say I'm surprised because I know Tim and we're really close. But
He's an amazing kid. Children are resilient. They are able to handle a lot, and we're grateful that he is such a wonderful kid.
Wow, what an exceptional young man. I can't wait to see what he does with his life, especially with all the support with you all surrounding him. Devin and Kelly, Vanner and Donna, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We appreciate you. We'll be right back.
thank you.
Thank you.